So apparently, through the use of LiDAR, they have discovered that there are enormous structures underneath the Great Pyramid that go kilometers deep into the earth with coil.
An AI trained on decades of scan data just uncovered a hidden network beneath the Giza Plateau. Chambers and shafts missing from all official maps. Some match ancient legends, others make no structural sense. Beneath the Sphinx, a multi-level shaft leads into restricted ground. Days after the discovery, the project was quietly shut down. No answers, no access, just silence. What did they find that was never meant to be uncovered? The underground enigma of Giza. Beneath the blazing sun and shifting sands of the Giza Plateau, there's an ancient mystery that's been teased, silenced, and buried for centuries. The pyramids may tower above us, but it's what lies beneath them that continues to send chills down the spine of even the most skeptical archaeologists. Egyptian lore tells us that under this sacred land lies something so profound, it could rewrite history from scratch. They called it the Hall of Records, a mythical archive believed to contain lost knowledge from the days before Egypt was Egypt. We're talking about ancient maps of the stars, forgotten technologies, even clues to the origins of civilization itself. And while mainstream Egyptology has dismissed this as legend, a steady stream of events over the past century has made it harder and harder to ignore. Back in the 1930s, a man named Edgar Cayce, who became famous as the Sleeping Prophet, made a bold prediction while in a trance. He claimed that survivors from Atlantis had hidden their greatest secrets beneath the Sphinx. Yes, that Sphinx. According to him, the Hall of Records would be discovered in the late 1990s, just before a major shift in human consciousness. At the time, most scientists rolled their eyes. But here's where things get strange. Fast forward to the late 1970s. The Stanford Research Institute, working alongside Egyptian authorities, conducted electromagnetic and radar scans across the Giza Plateau. They weren't chasing myths, they were just testing new tech, but the results made them pause. Beneath the Sphinx and the pyramids, they detected underground anomalies, vast cavities and voids that didn't match any known burial chamber or tunnel system. They didn't announce this to the world. It was quietly documented, quietly filed away, and for the most part, ignored. Then in 1993, things got even stranger. A German engineer named Rudolf Gantenbrink designed a small robot called UP-U-Out-2 to crawl inside one of the Great Pyramid's narrow air shafts, spaces too small for a human to even peek into. What it found was astonishing. Deep inside the Queen's Chamber shaft, the robot encountered a perfectly fitted stone slab, complete with tiny copper handles, sealing off the passage like a vault door. Behind it, no one knows. Egyptian authorities immediately shut down the project, and Gantenbrink was mysteriously barred from continuing his work. Just like that, everything went dark. Honestly, why was it sealed so precisely? Why the copper handles? And why shut down the investigation the moment it got interesting? Something is down there. Something ancient, deliberately hidden, and potentially explosive in what it reveals. Every piece of tech that tries to go further, radar, robots, AI scans, either finds something inexplicable or gets stopped right before it can show the world. And now, quantum AI has picked up where human hands were forced to stop. It's uncovered patterns, blueprints, and signals buried in stone, pointing to something that was never supposed to be found. And now the tools to uncover it are finally here. Cutting-edge tech meets ancient stone. For centuries, the Great Pyramid kept its secrets buried in silence. But now it's not just dusty archaeologists with pickaxes poking around. Modern technology is peeling back the layers of history with tools that would have looked like magic to the ancient builders themselves. LiDAR, ground-penetrating radar, and the real game changer, muon tomography, a scanning method that uses subatomic particles from space to see through solid stone, like an X-ray on steroids. Between 2017 and 2023, the world watched as the Scan Pyramids project, a high-tech collaboration between Japanese, French, and Egyptian researchers, began pulling off the unthinkable. Using muon detectors originally developed for particle physics, they scanned the pyramid from the inside out. And then it happened. A jaw-dropping discovery that shook the archaeological world. Above the Grand Gallery, they found a massive hidden void, over 30 meters long, completely sealed off from all known corridors or chambers. It had never been seen, never been accessed, and no one knows what's inside. But it didn't stop there. By 2023, the Scan Pyramids team had partnered with cutting-edge AI systems to take this deeper. Thousands of data points from radar, muon scans, thermal imaging, all fed into a machine learning model trained to detect geometric anomalies no human eye could catch. And suddenly, the AI started mapping out patterns, hidden voids, angles that didn't match traditional architecture, empty spaces too perfect to be natural. This wasn't just noise in the data. These were intentional constructs echoing Casey's old predictions and aligning almost eerily with the locations proposed by ancient lore. One scan after another hinted that the pyramid might be more than just a tomb. It might be a machine, a coded structure hiding information within its very architecture. As more data rolled in, the AI began predicting where hidden chambers could be. It wasn't guessing, it was calculating based on micro changes in density, signal lag, even temperature shifts caught at different times of day. And the predictions were lining up with spots long ignored by traditional excavations. Which brings us to the most futuristic tool of all, the one stirring up both breakthroughs and backlash. Quantum AI, hype or helping hand? Let's clear the air before we dive headfirst into science fiction territory. When people hear the phrase quantum AI, it sounds like something out of a Marvel movie. Sentient machines crunching ancient codes and unlocking cosmic secrets from stone. And sure, the name has that cinematic ring to it, but here's the truth. Right now, quantum AI is mostly a futuristic label, a concept, something researchers are working toward, but we're not quite there yet. What we do have, though, is already pretty mind-blowing. Artificial intelligence, especially machine learning, has become a serious player in archaeology. And that's not theory, that's fact. Major companies like Google DeepMind, IBM Watson, and Boston Dynamics have been pushing the boundaries of how machines can interpret massive amounts of data faster and more accurately than any human ever could. These systems aren't guessing. They're trained to recognize patterns in heat signatures, scan data, even architectural alignments that would take human teams years to process. And this isn't limited to Egypt. Just look at what happened in Peru and Guatemala. In recent years, researchers using LiDAR mounted on aircraft swept over dense jungle canopies, and AI was then used to process the mountains of visual data. What did they find? Entire lost cities, networks of roads, temples, and fortresses buried in vegetation, completely missed by decades of traditional fieldwork. And now that exact same methodology, LiDAR plus AI-driven pattern recognition, is being used at Giza. While quantum computing is still in its early days, handling limited, extremely specific problems, there have already been tiny but crucial breakthroughs. It's not replacing traditional computers just yet, but it's starting to show its strength in optimization, encryption, and pattern prediction. In theory, once combined with advanced AI, quantum systems could simulate millions of structural models or decode symmetrical anomalies across Giza's underground layout in seconds. That's the dream, and some believe we're closer than we think. So while quantum AI might sound like marketing hype right now, the tools that fall under that umbrella, AI image analysis, deep learning, predictive modeling, are already active in making discoveries that would have been called fantasy just 10 years ago. But the deeper the tech digs, the faster the silence seems to fall. Suppression or protection? Most people look at the pyramids and see what's on the surface, those massive blocks stacked with impossible precision. But what they don't see is what lies beneath. Like, under the Great Pyramid alone, there's an entire lower level most tourists never hear about. We're talking about tomb shafts that drop into the bedrock, chambers carved out of raw stone, some of which seem to serve no known purpose. There's one room down there, just a pit with a square pillar in the middle. No writing, no burial, just emptiness. It's like someone built it and then decided to erase its function from history. But the real centerpiece of this underground maze is the Osiris shaft, and this one's wild. Located just near the Sphinx, it's a deep, vertical tunnel that plunges straight down into the earth, dropping through multiple levels, each stranger than the last. The top level looks ceremonial, maybe even symbolic. The middle level? Just a blank chamber. But it's the lowest level, submerged in water, that has everyone on edge. Inside, there are stone sarcophagi, completely unmarked, lying in the dark like they've been waiting for something or someone. What makes this even creepier is how many of these rooms and shafts don't align with the structures above them. They aren't directly beneath the pyramids or temples. They drift slightly to the side, almost like they were hidden on purpose. Some researchers have speculated that these were ancient water tunnels, designed to flow with the Nile's underground currents, maybe even to power something. Others believe they were ceremonial pathways, used only during high-level rites. And then there's the fringe theory that refuses to go away, that parts of this underground system were used for astronomical alignment, synced with the stars and seasons in ways we still haven't decoded. Now, every time a new anomaly shows up on a scan beneath the pyramids, every time a robot rolls down a shaft or radar hits something solid that shouldn't be there, something strange happens. The headlines go quiet. The teams go silent. The dig sites get locked up, sometimes overnight. And the people start to wonder, are we being protected from something ancient, or is something being kept from us? For decades, Egypt's government has kept a tight, almost obsessive grip on who gets to dig where, what gets shared with the press, and which discoveries are cleared for public release. Even world-renowned researchers have had permits revoked mid-project without explanation. The official reason? Cultural sensitivity, political instability, national pride. And yes, there's truth in all of that. These aren't just ruins. They're symbols of identity, history, and deep spiritual heritage. Egypt isn't about to let the world go poking around in its ancient heart without supervision. But over the years, that supervision has started to look more like suppression. Why were Gantenbrink's robotic findings sealed off before the robot could even finish its climb? Why did the 1998 radar anomalies disappear into academic silence? Why do foreign archaeologists, no matter how credible, keep hitting invisible walls when they get too close to something new? There's a growing theory that it's not just about preserving monuments, it's about preserving the narrative. If there's evidence of a lost civilization older than Egypt, a power source buried in stone, or a forgotten ritual system that once harnessed the stars, then everything we've been taught about human history would be flipped upside down. Religious institutions, academic frameworks, power structures, all of it would face questions it's not prepared to answer. Some say what lies beneath Giza isn't just old, it's forbidden. That the ancient builders didn't bury their knowledge to preserve it, but to keep it away from us. That these underground systems weren't just built for ceremony or burial, but as gateways to power, and whoever unlocks that knowledge, AI, archaeologist, or government, would be opening something far larger than a chamber. But no amount of silence can erase what the scans are now revealing. What we know now and what's still buried. After decades of myths, whispers, and closed-door excavations, we finally have real answers. Answers pulled from stone by scanners, sifted through by AI, and confirmed not by guesswork, but by hard data. We now know with absolute certainty that the Great Pyramid is not a finished book. It's a layered manuscript, a structure with more voids than we ever imagined. LiDAR, Muon tomography, and ground-penetrating radar have shown us that beneath the surface of Giza, there is a system, rooms with no known purpose, shafts leading to nowhere, chambers placed with mathematical precision that defies all logic. And with AI assisting, we're beginning to see what the ancients may have meant to keep hidden. But for every answer, 5 new mysteries rise up. Because while these tools are showing us where to look, many of those locations remain sealed off, physically and politically. Some zones are classified as too sensitive to explore. Others are under long-term review, buried beneath vague red tape and national heritage laws that have no expiration date. And then there's the unconfirmed, the voids detected but not open, the symmetrical formations that AI labels as intelligent architecture, but that no one is allowed to test. And when you ask the people who could open those doors, they deflect, smile, change the subject. The truth is, we've only scratched the surface. Literally, we've confirmed chambers where there were thought to be none. We've watched as machines trained on ancient geometry pull up designs that shouldn't exist in a Bronze Age society. We've begun to peel back the curtain, but beneath that is still more stone, more secrets, And the closer we get to the core, the less sense it all makes. Because the deeper we scan, the stranger it gets. And maybe, just maybe, we were never supposed to go that deep. Whatever's buried beneath Giza wasn't meant to be found easily. And now that we've seen the patterns, the sealed chambers, and the data they tried to bury, the real question is, why now? Why let AI go this far only to shut it all down? What's so dangerous about what's hidden in stone? Let us know in the comments. And if you're ready to keep digging into the secrets they've tried to erase, make sure you subscribe, share this video, and stay locked in. Because what's coming next goes even deeper.